Today I have a few questions to ask you because many times I'm wondering how you guys are doing what I'm doing. Like, for instance, right now I'm recording this footage, and before starting to record this footage, I have to be sure that I have the focus on me, that I'm in focus. And if you are looking my footages, you can see that sometimes the focus is not there. I'm not in focus or almost in focus. So for me, it's focused or not. So sometimes I'm missed the focusing thing because I'm focusing on myself, then I go backwards, and then I found myself not in focus, or so this kind of manipulations for me is just like focusing. Okay, now I'm focused, now I'm not in focus. On vintage lenses, of course, and with the Canon eosm and Magic Lantern, we do not have autofocus. So recording ourselves, it's not that easy. I mean, I'm thinking, and I want to change from time to time the location. So obviously I could do that, fix the camera, fix my location, the table, the chair, the sofa, or whatever, and just make sure that that sofa, that chair is in focus. But I'm changing constantly the places, and I'm thinking now the weather is bad, but I will go outside or go wherever I want and just easily focus on myself. Now, obviously, there are systems like autofocusing systems. I saw that there's a company or even more companies. I mean, DJR with the Lear. I mean, there are companies that are offering for manual lenses some kind of autofocusing system. And this is where I wanted to bring this discussion, that those autofocusing systems are started somewhere. And the starting point was, well, this is a thing that I put it on it, but it was this kind of lenses. This lens, and maybe not this one, maybe even older one, but these are the pioneers. These started the revolution with the autofocusing, having these two sensors that were projecting on the objective that you wanted to, in this case, because it's very old, we are talking about taking photos, were projecting and were calculating the image coming from the object that we wanted to take in photo, and then based on the light that was coming back, it was calculating the distance, and by pushing, there was a button here, I don't know if you can see it right here, and then you push the button and this system could focus on what have seen or what saw in front of him. Obviously, it demanded a lot of conditions like good lighting, like if you do not have bright light, then obviously it was not working. And this lens was a revuenon-autofocus system, and I found in a bazaar and I bought it extremely cheap, of course, $5, and I tried to make it work because it was really old. What is happening generally is that people are living inside the batteries. So the batteries, the fluid, everything was just out, corrosion. So it was really dead. So I couldn't, and it was missing here the cap, and pure condition, so I had to take this system out and then put some external battery source. And I tried it out, but unfortunately, this is the beginning, and we are happy where are today. This was just not working. I managed to work in an idea I could push here, and it's tried to do the focusing, but majority of the time, even in good lighting condition, was just missing the focus. So I thought to myself, okay, focusing is just not working, so that's it. I cannot use it. Then I thought to myself, okay, there's a motor, a wheel that is doing the focusing. So if I can push some buttons, give, current to the motor will move the focusing ring and can do the focusing. I can do it a motorized focusing. And this is where I am today. So like, let's just, I don't know if you can see it, but if you are, it does work. See, if you are looking this way, it kind of, you see, it moves when I'm pushing the button, and it's doing the focusing. I even went out handheld, and because it's a 50 millimeter, this lens at 1.7 maximum aperture, 50 mil with the crop mode, well, it's kind of a lot, and the footages are kind of shaky, but I just tried out. The idea is that this focusing is really working. Now I'm thinking about this project. How can I make it work? Like, for example, as I am today filming this video in front of myself, I found with the Canon eosm, with the monitor where I can see that I'm in focus or not, and then the lens, and then I have to go there and manually focus on myself, and sometimes because I'm changing the position, maybe I'm missing the focus. And I thought to myself that this system, can I use it remotely? So now I'm searching and I saw that there are possibility to buy a remote controller where these buttons that I have just made it here, these are switch on off conductors. So I have two here paired, because what is doing the motor for the motor to go from left to right, has, you have to change the polarities to be able to do for the motors to work like left to right and right to left. So I thought to myself, okay, if I can remotely control this one, then I can focus, for example, on myself from a distance. So I don't have to be there with the camera, go there and just do the focusing. Now, obviously, this kind of systems, even the sophisticated one, there's exist, like, for example, you can put on the lens motorized autofocus, and then you have the action wheel on Bluetooth system, and then so you can control it from a distance. But they are quite expensive. So here again, we are on budget cinema magic, and the magic is on really budget. So those are around how much? 260 dollars, even more. So I'm talking about that remote controlled focusing systems. Those are expensive. So I'm not talking about those physical focusing system that you attaching on two systems, and but it's still the same thing that I have it right now, my lens. So I have to be there and touching it and just moving it in order to focus on myself. But here I'm talking about putting this lens on the Canon eosm, going backwards wherever I want, and be able to focus on myself or focus on everything else, or if I'm moving, refocus it on myself without any problems. So this is one project where I want to do this one. So I want, and I'm searching. It's still kind of expensive. I found one around $20 where I can have this these switches to be able to control it from a distance. So I can have just a remote controller, and I can control it from a distance to switch on or off, like this, as I'm actually, yeah, right. So that means that I could control and focus on myself. This could really help me out with creating footages like this one and making it much easier. Now, because I already have this one for $5, I had to buy this adapter for this lens, 50mm lens, because this was Pentax a Pentax mount. So I had to change from, I had to have an adapter in from Pentax mount to EFM mount, but this was, I bought it for $15, so I'm at $20 right now, and $20 with the focusing system. So at $40 I have the system. So that's a big difference. Like buying that focusing system, that's 200 and something. So it's quite expensive. And if you remember, I have already presented you and started to use this lens. So this is the Fujinon TV zoom lens that I used, and generally I used it without a motor, because the motor thing, it was quite, again, a headache, and I wanted just quickly be able to record and try out this lens, and manually it's working nicely. Zooming, I can zoom it really quick, adjust the zooming extremely quick, as like with the motor. With a motorized zoom is just slow, it's too slow in action moments. Manual zooming, where I can decide with the speeds that I want the zoom, it's better than having relied on a motor that has a constant speed. I cannot increase the speed. Maybe there are possibilities, but for that you need modules, and that are expensive also. But today I came back with the idea of this actually can be useful. Again, if I want to film myself as a one showman, right? Then I could use this one, because this one is doing three things. Now, unfortunately, this is doing only two things. I don't know why the motor of the aperture ring is not working. Probably that's why I bought it, and it was cheap. But then the zooming and the focusing ring is working. So the motors are working. I already tried out with DC current, and I see I could move these two wheels. But there's two. So one is zoom and one is focusing. So for this one, I would need two remote controller. One would control the zoom, and the other one would control the focusing. Now, what is nice? Well, it's nice again if you are making, if you want to record yourself, then this is cool, because you can be far, zoom in, focusing, and because it's far focal, you can really play with this kind of sequences. One moment you are close, and then you are far away. So there are a lot of possibilities, and it sounds interesting. Now, this one needs two remote controllers, so we are around $40. But then there's a problem. We need power source also. So that complicates a little bit things. I mean, I was wondering, I have the external monitor, and I could take current from there, because I don't want yet to invest in a power bank. Maybe I should. Maybe that will be another project. But for now, I'm limited in projects, so I'm thinking this remote thing. So these are the two projects on which I am working right now. Now, this is much simpler than this one, because this one, it has focus and zoom. But on the other hand, I'm limited with this one on 2.5K 14 bits RAW. As with this one, I don't have zoom, so I have to move the camera and move myself, and 50, it's quite a lot. But on the other hand, I can use the highest resolution, so I can go prime lens. But with this one, what is interesting in this project is that I can zoom and focus on the same time. So just imagine, with this one is here, I'm installing the lens. This is a prime lens, 50 millimeter. So I, as a character, for example, I have to find my place, or the camera I have to install in a place where I know that the frame I want. And then what I can do, when I'm entering in the frame, myself, I can fine tune, so I can fine focus on myself or maybe on an object. Maybe it's not my face or my body. I want to have it in focus, but maybe my hand or maybe just the pencil that I'm writing, for example. And I can do that remotely with that remote controller. As with this one, well, on big, I can frame the subject, the what I want to shoot, but then I can fine tune with the zooming. So even the frame, the shot, I can modify it remotely. And that's cool, because that means that maybe that sequence, I can have it in multiple views. Like, for example, I can have it in different focal length, because here I can change the focal length. What is nice is that the aperture will remain the same and as it is per focal, I can change the focal length. So I will have a different frame, but still at the same image, the same luminosity and everything. So this sounds quite interesting as a project, even more interesting than this one, because we have two. We have zoom and focusing, and zoom and focusing remotely. So imagine I can be, far away from the camera. I can watch how I am in the monitor, and I can fine tune. I can fine tune the focusing, but I can fine tune even the frame. I can make it tighter or larger. I can change the view angle remotely. And that's really cool. So these are the two things. I will get into it. Now, as I told you, it's all about budget. It's quite expensive, even though, okay, so one remote kit is $20. So normally would need three. Three is already $60. And yeah, I just have to be careful budget wise. And I'm not quite sure if it will work, like these remote kits, controllers, switch controllers, motor controllers. I mean, are not guaranteed that it will work. So it's like try and error project. But maybe I will start with one kit, see how it's working, just the fine-tuning, focusing, and then adventure myself in this one, even though this fascinates me to be able to do this kind of things. It would really help me out a lot with solo one-man show shooting kind of scenes, because this is where I am right now. Hopefully I am in focus, but if I want to fine tune, or if I would want to change this frame, I cannot do remotely. I cannot fine tune even the focusing remotely. I see myself and I see that I am in focus, but if I would want to fine tune it right now with a push of a button, I cannot do it. But theoretically, and hopefully soon I will see practically, I can do with this one. And I could do with this one also, and even I could change the focusing if I would want to do that. So please, if you are not subscribed to my channel, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. So every time when I'm uploading new videos, you are notified and you can check them out. And secondary, but not last, by subscribing to this channel, you are really supporting this kind of projects, and the idea for me to continue and make this kind of projects which can have a really positive, hopefully a positive impact on you, upcoming filmmaker, creator, who is really low in budget. And as much as we love analog and vintage lenses, sometimes we kind of need automation or possibility to be able to remotely control these lenses.